Harvard has to show us their lists. They have foreign students. About 31% of their students are foreign-based, almost 31%. We want to know where those students come. Are they troublemakers? What countries do they come? And we're not going to, if somebody is coming from a certain country and they're 100% fine, which I hope most of them are, but many of them won't be, you're going to see some very radical people. They're taking people from areas of the world that are very radicalized, and we don't want them making trouble in our country. So I saw yesterday that in the middle of the UK, there was a nice young man. He wants to go back to school at Harvard, and he looked good to me, but I want to check his past. But we want to be able to see why, these countries aren't helping us. They're not investing in Harvard and all of our, we are. So why would 31%, why would a number so big? I think, number one, I think they should have a cap of maybe around 15%.
Only a racist would say crap like this. On the flip side,
as you are aware, the current administration feels Harvard admits too many foreign students, and who knows, they may have a point. After all, what has any foreigner ever added to our American culture? With the possible exception of music, literature, art, cuisine, fashion, architecture, dance, scientific breakthroughs, and the core of our moral codes and ethical beliefs. Seriously.
Conan O'Brien torched the Trump admin in his commencement speech at Harvard.
Nobody can do it like me. Nobody. Nobody can do it like me. I can read the polls maybe better than anybody. Who knows more about the word apprentice than Donald Trump? I understand the power of Facebook. Maybe better than almost anybody. I think I know more about the environment than most people. Who knows the other side better than me? I know a lot about wind. I know a lot about wind. I understand things. I comprehend very well, okay? Better than, I think, almost anybody. There's nobody bigger or better at the military than I am. I know more than these politicians. These guys don't know anything. Nobody in the history of this country has ever known so much about infrastructure as Donald Trump. I know more about ISIS than the generals do, believe me. Look, I hate to do it, but I will do it. I would give myself an A+. Is that enough? Can I go higher than that?
Not that it needs to be said, but just check out the polarizing differences at play here.
I honestly believe that community, spontaneity, and a real commitment to humility has helped me build a rich life that means much more to me than any diploma. And believe me, I'm not saying the goal is to renounce accomplishments, but rather to metabolize them. If you carry your victories lightly, other qualities, kindness, originality, courage, humor, and humanity have room to emerge. Maybe the greatest lessons I've learned along these lines have been through my 24 travel shows.
The egotistical nature of Trump versus the compassionate, down-to-earth approach by Conan. It's almost unfathomable that they are both human at this point.
Nobody knows this stuff better than me.
Nobody knows more about taxes than I do, and income than I do. Nobody knows more about construction than I do. Nobody knows more about campaign finance than I do.
Nobody knows consultants better than me.
I know more about drones than anybody. Nobody knows much more about technology, this type of technology, certainly, than I do. Nobody knows more about technology than me. I know more about technology than anybody. Nobody in the history of this country has ever known so much about infrastructure as Donald Trump. I know the H-1B. I know the H-2B. Nobody knows it better than me.
Nobody understands the press, but I think I understand them as well as anybody.
I mean, I know these people much better than you do. I know windmills very much. I've studied it better than anybody. I know more about renewables than any human being on Earth. Nobody knows more about polls than me. I know more about courts than any human being on Earth. I understand healthcare now, especially, very well. A lot of people don't understand it. I know the angles. I know every angle. I know more about steelworkers than anybody that's ever run for office. I know more about golf than Obama knows. And in the case of Turkey and the Kurds. I could go into a whole story because I understand it, I think, better than most.
And I know all about it. I've known about it for a long time. I know the subject better than anybody.
I know.
So when you hear a rambling buffoon like this, brush it off and hear from a man who may know a thing or two about the world from his life's experiences.
I have degraded myself in Cuba, Ghana, Korea, Armenia, half of Europe, Argentina, Thailand, Mexico, and Greenland, where I visited a real estate office and tried to buy the country. When I travel to another land, every quality I have discussed, community, adaptation, and a sincerely humble approach are all necessary. When you don't speak the language, no one truly cares where you went to college, and you have no choice but to make friends. It's on these travels that I learned a great lesson. Let yourself be bad at things. I have been a bad dancer in every country I have visited. But the people laugh because it turns out everyone everywhere is related to at least one terrible dancer. For me, humility on these trips can easily lead to humiliation, which is also a useful tool.
Because he does not view the earth as an opportunity to take advantage of and enrich himself, he views us all as one. It's as simple as that.
I understand that I am preaching modesty and connection at a time when this is not in style. We are living through a period of extreme narcissism. Our current leadership in Washington believes that empathy is a weakness and that our nation stands supreme and alone. Add to that, everyone here today has a phone in their pocket that is algorithmically programmed to celebrate you and you alone by making you the protein-maxing hero of your own special journey. Much has been written about how isolated and siloed we've become, but for me, the antidote is quite simple. By de-emphasizing what makes us special, in your case, a prize degree, we can really find one another, not as an exercise in virtue, but as a path towards greater laughter, love, and real growth.
What stands out, of course, is this. Via HuffPost, O'Brien, who graduated from Harvard in '85 and led the Harvard Lampoon Humor magazine, quipped that the university had produced more Nobel laureates or white-collar criminals than any other in the country. Quote, "So whether you choose good or evil, know that you are among the very best." He returns to campus during one of the most fraught periods in Harvard's history. The school is facing mounting legal and financial pressure from Donald Trump's administration, which sued the school in March over accusations its leadership failed to address anti-Semitism on campus. From the Daily Beast, Harvard President Alan Garber, who presented O'Brien with his honorary degree, wrote in a letter to the school's community, "No government, regardless of which party is in power, should dictate what private universities can teach, whom they can admit and hire, and which areas of study and inquiry they can pursue." I appreciate Conan doing this, and I also do believe that, as I stated in this piece, you cannot have two people that are so incredibly different, that speak to one being the worst ills a person can have and the other that quite literally uplifts their fellow man. Hey, I appreciate you watching. Now, if you can, please do become a channel member by going to youtube.com/TYTsports and clicking the join button. If that's too much for you, you can just go to tyt.com/join to become a member. It helps all of us out here at the Young Turks and keeps our network afloat. In addition, you could follow me on my socials on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate the love. Have a great day.